This is Anthony, and I don't know, just a quick video here on parenting. I think I don't know, starting out a YouTube channel. One of the playlists, I guess, will just be focused on parenting and some stories I share my experience raising two kids with my wife. And anyway, today's video, I guess, I think the topic is, as far as parenting goes, is just being available for your kids. And it's actually inspired by my newfound appreciation for the cartoon show Bluey. I don't want to say newfound as in like I didn't appreciate it before, but we only just recently started watching it as a family. My son, who's currently 8, my daughter, who's 2, we've spent a lot of time this past winter break watching Bluey, and I don't know, it's brought back a couple of cool memories, I think, where there's one episode called Hotels where the dad, Bandit, is, I want to say, laying with Bingo, who is the younger daughter in the show Bluey, and the daughter, Bingo, wants to be a crazy pillow, which just means, I guess, that she is a pillow and her dad's laying on her, and she's going to then like tickle his nose and things of that sort. And when I saw that episode with my son, I was like, oh man, like this is a game that we used to play. And it's weird, the timing of things, where it had actually occurred maybe a couple of weeks before seeing this episode, where I was laying in bed with him, and I just said pillow, and I put my head on him, and I said, oh man, like I used to do this with you when you were, I don't know, 3 years old, 4 years old, something to that effect. And it was really cool that we, then had that moment, revisited it, cuddled a little bit, and then we see this same concept, played out in an episode of Bluey. So I don't know, it's just really cool. So that's one. There's that game, pillow, just kind of, if you miss those cuddle moments or something, with your children, or maybe your kids are a little bit younger and you're wanting to have some of those cuddle moments now, just it's just a quick game. You just yell out the word pillow and just lay on them. So I don't know, there's that. But the episode of Bluey called Hotels, and being available for your kids, I guess the way that Bluey always works out is the kids approach the adults with a game that they want to play. And it's all these kind of role-playing games. And so in this particular episode, I want to say the dad is maybe tasked with, right? It's his responsibility. Mom's getting in the shower, and while she's in the shower, he's going to tidy up the bedroom. But the kids approach him and say, let's play hotel. And his immediate reaction is, oh, not hotels. Right? So it's like, he doesn't want to do it. Begrudgingly, he's got something to do, but the kids want to play, and he's like, oh, not hotels. But the whole thing, then he ends up playing. So he climbs the stairs, and I guess Bingo is the receptionist, and Bluey's the receptionist, and Bingo is the bellhop, and they're going through the different rooms of the house, trying to describe, I guess, the office as one possible room that Bandit, the dad, could occupy for the evening. They pass by the bathroom, which is pretty funny, and then they get to the master bedroom, which that's then where Bandit elects to stay as this hotel guest. But I don't know, it has all these cute moments where it's a lot of parent-child bonding, and even though we have these pressures, right, and responsibilities and tasks and chores, and but the parents, I want to say maybe more Bandit than the mom, whose name escapes me right now, but I want to say it's more often that the dad is playing these games. And it's often said, like, oh, dad's going to make it fun and all this other stuff. So maybe I, obviously relate to the dad as a father. So, but he's always doing that. He's kind of dropping whatever he's got going on and making time for his kids and playing with them. And so, I relate to it because I feel like that's definitely what I do as a father. Just kind of, I don't know, making time for my kids. And whenever they want me to pick them up, I do it. And I complain about it. I go, oh man, not again. Like, could you give me 5 minutes? Like, can I have some peace? So very begrudgingly a lot of times, but I do it anyway, right? I mean, I think that's what we do, is make sacrifices for our kids. And so then what I end up doing is just waiting for everybody to go to sleep, right? It's after they go to bed that I then decide whether I'm going to watch TV, and if I'm going to watch TV, well, then I get to choose what I'm watching, right? Or it's after that when maybe I'll work out or try to grade some papers, right, and things of that sort. So it's very interesting, the family dynamics and things within that cartoon show. Yeah, I think do or can mimic a lot of I don't know what's going on in reality, and certainly what's going on in my household. And the other piece that's interesting about the episode is, and it's a funny moment. It's meant to be a funny moment where they've engaged in this role playing game of hotels and everything. And like I said, mom's been in the shower the entire time, and I guess the three of them, the father and the two daughters, end up running out of the room as the game plays on, and then the mom comes out of the shower. She sees the room is now in worse shape than it was when she went into the shower, and she just says like, "Oh, I thought you were going to straighten up the room." That's the end of the episode. And so I don't know. That's kind of the other piece where it's like, again, those family dynamics and trying to be there for one another, and how these shows can mimic reality. I mean, that's my reality. A lot of times I feel is, I do get a little preoccupied or too focused on making myself available for the kids, that there are times where it seems as though my responsibilities maybe otherwise, right, not necessarily as a father, but as a sort of contributing member of the household, right, and trying to get laundry done or wash dishes or yard work, and so a lot of those things can kind of fall by the wayside as I'm trying to make time for my kids. But I think any parent out there can kind of relate, right? These are all the things you're trying to juggle and prioritize, right? I mean, we only have 24 hours in a day, so what are you getting done when and how, and I don't know. So it's challenging, but I guess I wanted to share that sort of my approach. What I prioritize is really trying to make myself available for my kids and try to remind myself, why am I doing all of these things? Why do I have this hour-long commute? Why do I sort of put up with some of these things, right? Do these things, these chores, or I don't know, right? Like, why? Sometimes it's like, why don't I quit my job, right? It's I need the money to support the kids, right? So all that fun stuff. But yeah, making myself available for kids, making yourself available for your kids, I do think is really important, and something that shouldn't be overlooked. I was actually randomly talking with a plumber was it just yesterday? 2 days ago. Plumber was in the house fixing a leaky quarter turn valve, in the ceiling, and I said something about that. My daughter always wants me to pick her up, and kind of sometimes drives me nuts, and I don't always get to do what I want to do. And he says, well, you have to realize that there's going to be a time where, I don't know, he said something, he described it as I'm eventually going to be the voice in her head, when she needs to make decisions, or she's reflecting on certain things, like it's going to be my voice in her head. And so making all of that time for her, and as I've said, as I've done, and will continue to do for my son, so for my kids in general, making the time for them, it is an investment, right? It's not only am I teaching them, I guess one way, to raise kids, but also just imparting, I guess, a lot of my knowledge and things, upon them, and the return, right, on that investment, like I said, hopefully would be that they are making wise choices, or that they're then, maybe I'm not just the voice in their head, but I'm the person that they come to consult, when they are experiencing some sort of difficulty, or needing to make a decision, right? So and then at that point, whether I could say like, right? Offer advice, or yes, I've dealt with things like that, or I could, get to a point where I say, I appreciate you coming to me, but I think you can make this decision on your own, right? And just kind of cut myself out of it, So it's a lot of cool stuff. I just wanted to share all of that with you, and like I said, I do think that being available for kids is really important. I mean, it's what I do as a father. I think it's what I do as an educator, and then the rest, I guess, has to sort itself out. I know that's something I struggle with, right? I set priorities and 24 hours in a day. I think I owe apologies to other people, right? That I don't make time for. Like I said, sometimes responsibilities and around the house, or making time for my wife, making time for family, for friends. I don't do that enough, right? I don't make myself available for those people, for many adults, but I definitely make myself available for kids. There's a lot of psychology there. I think that maybe I'll get into it at another time. And I think about how I was raised, and at times maybe neglected, and all of those feelings that go along with it. I was raised a certain way, and now I'm trying to maybe overcompensate a little bit, but I still think it's important to make yourself available for a kid, especially those children in your care, whether it be a son, daughter, niece, nephew, etc. So anyway, that's it, man. This is just my quick chat while I'm driving to work in the morning. January 2nd, 2025. Happy New Year. Again, I this is just one video. I think on a playlist with some other parenting videos. I think I call it Adventures in Parenting or something, because it is an adventure, and I'll share more tales, more stories as things progress. So that's it. Be well, have fun. Catch you on the next one.